your thing, it's my thing,
it's we thing.
We live here in Trinidad and Tobago, friends, family, lock it, leave it. We thing, stay tuned. Nah.
Greetings, you're listening to DJ 3rd Degree, the maddest DJ on radio. Anyway, Santana say so.
Yo, this is the girl Shukti Ramnai, and you are listening to We Thing Radio. Don't feel listening, just come on, wine and box your waist. Yes, man.
Yeah, this is Santana, and you're locked on to We Thing Radio. Anyway.
Hi, this is Nikki Crosby, and it's We Thing Radio. I mean, hello, it's We Thing, so I have to be in it. We Thing Radio.
Hola, Dulce. Oh, yeah. Whining like she from Africa. Big enough We Thing Radio all the time. Hello.
It's not my thing. It's not your thing. It's We Thing. We Thing Radio.
The way to degree mash up the dance. They calling him a hooligan. A hooligan. A hooligan. Yo, this is your boy Ricardo Drew. It's Drew, and right now it's all about DJ 3rd Degree. Keep it locked.
Lock and load. This is Dre Blunt, the Rockport King. Anytime in a foreign, you know me have to lock into We Thing Radio. You heard me?
Yo, I am Nishran M out of Trinidad and Tobago, and you are locked to We Thing Radio. Nothing sweeter than We Thing. Love you.
Hey, this is Hurricane Hema Dindiyal, and you're listening to We Thing Radio. Big up, man.
Hey, this is your girl Rish Ramal, aka the Warrior Princess, and you're locked onto We Thing Radio.
Yo, it's your boy Ricky J. You don't know, hit after hit. Barman, give me a Guinness and punching. Yeah. We Thing Radio, as we're listening to. I say so. Come on.
Whoa. Yeah. Whoa. Yo, you know it's Mystic representing for We Thing Radio, man. Big up the Trini people and big up Diana, you know. Mystic is a boy representing, bringing the reggae vibe. I'm bringing the little choker vibe as well. Boom! Screw some ball, me's a coolie boy. Me never shade, me's a coolie boy. Why not the time, me's a coolie boy. Yo, Mystic.
It's not my thing. It's not your thing. It's We Thing. We Thing Radio.
Oh yeah, We Thing Radio. Special good night to each and every one of you. I know I'm a little early. We're just trying to build up the live, right? Good night going out to Tara. Good night going out to Rishi. Let's get the feed shared out.
All my friends and me, and all my family. All my friends and me, and all my family. We should love each other endlessly. All who don't like me, and all my enemy. We should be living in harmony. Don't take forever to say we love each other when God calls our number. It's over before it's too late, and we never have a chance to see each other. Oh, let we have a drink together before it's too late, and we never have a chance to see each other. Oh, let we have a drink together. Every day we live why not make tomorrow today? Cherish all the ones who tell your story. We don't want to say if we're not maybe when someone that you love goes away. You are my brother, you are my sister. Hand in hand we'll face whatever. We walk together, I'm in your corner. I am here for you whenever. Don't take forever to say we love each other when God falls on our back. It's over before it's too late and we never have a chance to see each other. Oh, let we have a drink together. All my friends and me, and all my family. All my friends and me, and all my family. We should love each other endlessly. All who don't like me, and all my enemy. We should be living in harmony. Don't take forever to say we love each other when God calls our number. It's over before it's too late and we never have a chance to see each other. Oh, let we have a drink together before it's too late and we never have a chance to see each other. Oh, let we have a drink together. Every day we live in stress and worry. Tomorrow we will make a happy story. But why not make tomorrow today? Cherish all the ones who tell your story. We don't want to say if we're not maybe when someone that you love goes away. You are my brother, you are my sister. Hand in hand we'll face whatever. We walk together, I'm in your corner. I am here for you whenever. Don't take forever to say we love each other when God calls on our back. It's over before it's too late and we never have a chance to see each other. Oh, let we have a drink together before it's too late and we never have a chance to see each other. Oh, let we have a drink together. Think about giving, not receiving. Live a legacy that is worth leaving. Make someone number one today. Together we must make this journey. I lean on you, you lean on me. We'll never let each other go astray. You are my brother, you are my sister. Hand in hand we'll face whatever. We walk together, I'm in your corner. I am here for you whenever. Don't take forever to say we love each other when God calls on our back. It's over before it's too late and we never have a chance to see each other. Oh, let we have a drink together before it's too late and we never have a chance to see each other. Oh, let we have a drink together. Oh, let we have a drink together. Oh, the government say. So I'm cooking home and liming and drinking away. If it come and lock down, we can't go no way. If it come and lock down, we can't go no way. I go bust a pot in my house and drink from today. I go bust a pot in my house and drink from today. If it come and lock down, we can't go no way. If it come and lock down, we can't go no way. I go bust a pot in my house and drink from today. I go bust a pot in my house and drink from today. Oh, we cooking duck, we cook chicken, provision and dumpling. We drink white cocoa with cocoa. Johnny Walker with coconut water, yes we like it. Everybody drink it, everybody fat it. Do darling whining. Lock down the river. Business have to close at a certain hour. They lock down the beaches, lock down the river.
Good night, Lestra.
Business have to close at a certain hour. That is how your home and a beating liquor. Move it, come and lock down, we can't go no way. Move it, come and lock down, we can't go no way. I go bust a pot in my house and drink from today. I go bust a pot in my house and drink from today. Oh, we cooking duck, we cook chicken, provision and dumpling. We drink white oat with cocoa. Johnny Walker with coconut water.
So good night, good night. We're trying to link up Dylan in just a few minutes. Good night, Anil. So we want everybody to share out the feed for the families and them out in Trinidad. Or just in general. So Trinidad on another lockdown tonight.
We cannot go no way, the government say. We can't go no way, the government say. So I'm cooking home and liming and drinking away. If it come and lock down, we can't go no way. If it come and lock down, we can't go no way. I go bust a pot in my house and drink from today. I go bust a pot in my house and drink from today. If it come and lock down, we can't go no way. If it come and lock down, we can't go no way. I go bust a pot in my house and drink from today. I go bust a pot in my house and drink from today. Oh, we cooking duck, we cook chicken, provision and dumpling. We drink white cocoa with cocoa. Johnny Walker with coconut water, yes we like it. Everybody drink it, everybody fat it. Do darling whining. Lock down the river. Business have to close at a certain hour. love tongue the river. Business have to close at a certain hour. That is why a woman a beating liquor. Move it, come on, love tongue, we can't go no way. Move it, come on, love tongue, we can't go no way. I go bust a pot in my house and drink from today. I go bust a pot in my house and drink from today. Oh, we cooking duck, we cook chicken, provision and dumpling. We drink white oak with coke. Johnny Walker with coconut water, yes we like it. Everybody drinking, everybody fetting. To do that is whining.
So we got Dylan on the line.
When you're stepping out, make sure to wear your mask. Don't forget to sanitize, you don't want it to be your last. When you're stepping out, make sure to wear your mask. Don't forget to sanitize, you don't want it to be your last. Just follow the guidelines and take a drink and pass. Move it, come on, love tongue, we can't go no way. Move it, come on, love tongue, we can't go no way. I go bust a pot in my house and drink from today. I go bust a pot in my house and drink from today.
Dill, you can hear me good?
Yeah, loud and clear.
All right, I hear you good, good, good. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you guys know, I'm a stickler about getting our information out to our peoples and them. Now, one of the biggest pet peeves that I have is that what's been going on, a lot of people don't realize the importance of life insurance. Now, in regards to what's going on out in the world today, it has totally changed within, we're going on what, 14 months right now, where the world has gone upside down. Now, before this, let me give you guys a little background. Dylan is a longtime family friend of mine, but Dylan is the reason why myself and Miss Budu Singh actually went out and got life insurance. August is going to be 4 years that a second mom to me had passed away. Now, she was in Trinidad and I didn't know she had life insurance. And she had it for just a little while. Her death was a shock to all of us. But if it wasn't for Dylan and what he did in regards to stepping in, not just as a family and as a close relative, but he put on his insurance agent hat. He was the agent for my aunt. And my uncle and cousin and them didn't have to worry about anything in regards to the funeral home expenses and a lot of these other things, because in Trinidad, the power of Guardian Life Insurance and Guardian Group and what Dylan does made that process so much easier. That I'm just hoping, God forbid, when that day comes, that when things go to Amelia and Ashwarya, that I have my agent is as great as Dylan is. That the things that make it so complicated and horrendous, somebody else took the mantle and ran with it and took care of that. So when we came back home, I said I had to get this, and we went and we got it. And we're going on 3 years of having our life insurance because we've always had it, but never focused on the importance of it. But like I said, Dill, what you did for Auntie Lorna and Uncle Samuel and them. So, Dylan, why don't you tell everybody a little about yourself and the company you represent and things like that?
Sure. Thanks, Alan. Thank you so much, everyone, listeners. My name is Dolan Ramson, as Alan introduced me, and I'm attached to the Ramlal Basdev branch with Guardian Life of the Caribbean, which is a subsidiary of the Guardian Group. And Guardian Group is household name in the not only Trinidad but also in Caribbean. Right? I'm a unit sales manager. I've been in the industry for 11 years now, and it feels like yesterday because I just love what I do.
11 years, wow.
11 years, yeah. And I have a team now, which I'm building. I have 6 agents under my care, and I just continue to work with passion and try to help and share experiences to protect families, especially in the unforeseen circumstances, so that they will be better taken care of, especially the families, young ones, in the future. Yeah.
Now, Dylan, what I had explained just now in regards to what you did for Uncle Samuel and Davy Kerr during that time, is that something that all agents actually do in regards to facilitating, going to that level, what you guys did with DAS and the crematory and things like that? Is that something that's normal that you guys do?
Yeah, that's what we are supposed to do, but Alan, not everyone does what they're supposed to do. It's a cradle to grave relationship. It's not only the sale and then you don't hear from the agent. And I tend to hold the flag and my mantle and do what I was signed up to do all the way. That's when you really consider what you do not a job, but it's your career and it's you're working with passion and you're to caring. And ultimately, it leads to more success because you are getting a lot of business opportunities. People trust you and would like to continue business with you.
Now, we already got a comment here that says Rishi from, I believe Rishi is from El Dorado. Is that correct? My mind's running on a blank, but he said, can you ask Dylan again? Touch it. Dylan's number is located at the bottom of the screen. You can see that, the 868-789-4038. So Dylan's number is there, so jot it down. That way he could definitely get a hold of you.
I think I know Richie as well, so I will certainly give him a call.
Okay, good. Now, Dill, COVID, in regards to, it has totally changed the game and changed the dynamic in regards to life insurance and things like that. Are you guys seeing a huge decline in policies? Or, because I would think, especially what's going on in Trinidad and Tobago, everybody's like, you know what, they're focusing on other things. Like today, another lockdown has been put into place and everybody's like mass panic going to the beaches and stuff like that, which is ridiculous when you should focus on getting necessary things in place. What has that been like since COVID has made this huge impact?
Sure. To the contrary, our sales and has been, if not stable, but even on the rise, because this is the time that you really need to protect yourself in terms of health insurance and eventually life insurance as well if it continues to worsen. So it's really testing each agent's ability to go out there and do our part or do our role, what we are gifted to do, because it is a necessity. And when there's even havoc like now, but we need to be there in front of our clients to show them that.
Now, a couple of things that we heard on the U.S. side and stuff like that, and I don't know if it's a global thing. If you tested positive, you gotta wait 6 months and whatnot. What's the restrictions that have been put into place because of COVID?
Okay, so there's some things with existing clients who have already have a policy and they get tested positive for COVID, for example. If there's any hospital care, of course, right now in Trinidad, the state covers everything. But if there's any private care, our health plans will cover the person, and if it eventually leads to death, it will be paid and honored. So there's no waiting period for existing clients.
Okay.
But for new clients, who
okay.
need a policy, and there's a COVID questionnaire that you fill out, and if there's any inclination of travel, if you was positive, Once you're negative, when you transact the application, it will be sent through. So there's no waiting period.
Okay, now one of the biggest things that with me, what I have, I tell everybody, if you have a family, this is a must. One of the biggest problems is, getting money together for the funeral costs, burial costs, those kind of things and stuff like that, as well as you can go above and beyond to secure the future for your family. So I know there's death benefit insurance, and there's, going above and beyond. So you want to explain what those kind of policies are?
Sure. So the whole concept of insurance is a promise to pay in the event of unforeseen circumstances. And what are these circumstances? We call them the hazards of life, which will be dying too soon, which is death, getting ill and becoming either critically ill or disabled. And if you live through those two, there's another hazard. Carla, you think what's the third one?
Another hazard being disabled?
No, it's old age pension.
Oh, pension.
So,
Okay.
yes, if you didn't die and you didn't get sick, then you have reached an age where you can work at 65, for example, and you need to continue earning income to live a lifestyle. So old age is also the third hazard. So that protection, umbrella protection, is what covers the whole concept of promising to pay. The need then will be tailored according to each individual. For example, if you have a young person, single, healthy 25-year-old, trying to get them to take life insurance may be a little challenging. But
Very.
yeah, but that's the best time to get it, because the rates are so cheap,
Right.
and they can get so much more coverage when they think they need it in the 40s. But they can protect themselves with a living benefit, for example, a critical illness, meaning that if you get a heart attack, stroke, cancer, all those diseases are covered under the critical health plan, and as a living benefit for a young person. And then they can even start saving towards their retirement.
Mm-hmm.
So the needs will be different according to the person, and they will be tailored. So not one product, and we sell this like off the shelf. It has to be tailored, and it has to fill the gap of that person, family, or themselves living the lifestyle should they not be in the picture.
Now, how long does the process take in regards to getting a life insurance policy? So from like the day they make the phone call to you, what do you roughly estimate is the time period before they're covered?
Okay, so it all again it varies. I would say within 1 week to about maximum 3 weeks. Because the reason why it varies is with age and medicals. For example, if a person over 50, for example, and they had some health pre-existing conditions, we would want to have them checked out by a physician and get some reports on their medical history. So they may take about between 14 days to within 3 weeks maximum. And if there is a young person, for example, and everything is fine, you can have coverage within 1 week.
Okay, wow, that's
Yeah.
good. Now, let me another question. Auntie Central, good night. Good night to Janice and Rishi put in his number there. I'll make sure and get that out to you, Dil.
Thank you.
Large up Shazi. Now, one of the things, Dil, is the fact that a lot of people have their children and so forth abroad and things like that, right? Now, those kids that are abroad, if they want to pay for a policy for their family, their parents, or whatever in Trinidad, is that something that's possible to be able to be done, or because in regards to how the payment part is done, is that something that is a possibility?
Oh, definitely. That's a definite possibility. And there, we are also with the times that you can actually do online payments.
Really?
So that they can transfer the money just like a utility bill or any credit card that you want to pay. Guardian Group is on the drawdown click, and you just send the information there. So that's the fastest way, other than sending money through the other mediums, you would send it to Trinidad.
So their son or daughter in the U.S. could go to the website, pay for it with their credit card or bank. Really? Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I didn't think that was something. I remember there was like before that you could only go somewhere and pay it local or something like that. Was that correct?
Yeah, but before there were like the traditional banks where you would have like a standing order set up or a salary deduction. But COVID and Guardian tend to work a bit in hand in hand. In fact, it accelerated our digitization. Last year, we spent the entire process getting where we wanted to be in 5 years in less than 1 year.
Wow.
All our sales can be conducted virtually. And from my conversation, I can actually send the application to you, and you can sign with your fingertip and send it back to us, and we can have it underwritten and policy sent digitized to you.
That's awesome. So with COVID now, how is the medicals and stuff like that being done then with these kind
Right.
of restrictions?
Sure. So what we have even done is reduce the requirements to allow someone, like if we were taking, for example, 1 million coverage, we would go to 1.5 million now for someone less than 40 years old, where would be no medical requirements. Depends on the questions on the questionnaire. Of course, if they say yes to any pre-existing conditions, a medical will be required. But let's say there's no to any of those questions asked, medical questions, you have automatic approval. But if there's online doctors as well, that you can actually, we have a link that the doctor would actually can see you virtually as well.
Wow, that's awesome.
Oh
And
yeah,
Sintra,
we've gone a long way in
that is great.
Yeah.
And Sintra, Dylan's number is right underneath his name, the 868-789-4038. I will also I could send him your contact number as well. Now, Andy Sintra was one that was looking into this, that was asking. So just to recap a couple of things. If you're in the U.S., good night, Shelly. Shelly's one of the people that is one of the reasons why I wanted to make sure and bring you on, because she's got family in Trinidad. Unfortunately, she just lost a close relative, and they had 3 kids. Did not have life insurance and stuff like that. So it's been kind of hard for what they're going through and things like that. So Shelly, just to recap, I know she was a little bit late, but just to let her know, family relatives abroad is able to pay for the policies for their families in Trinidad via the internet and stuff like that. Dylan would be able to meet with them, go through the medicals, go through all these different kind of things in regards to helping them get their policies. A policy can be for anywhere between 1 week to 3 weeks time, depending on the health questionnaire and stuff like that they have to go through. Right, Dale? That kind of summarizes it?
Yeah, that's summarized. You did well there, Alan.
No, that's all right. Now, so what would you say, since you've been doing this for 11 years, right? Give us one of your most challenging situations with you being an agent that you had to, step in and do something for someone.
Over the period, in terms of challenging, is really to get in front of client and paint that real picture to them of the importance of having financial protection via insurance. But no excuses. The industry is plagued with a number of people who did not do their part, and it's been perceived by a lot of people, like any other career, that it's not something that they will be benefited from, or they just misunderstand the whole values and concepts. So the challenge was to repaint that position in people's mind that we're here to help and we do care, and you do have a caring agent and an agency, and we're not here just to take your money and forget about you. Yeah.
And that probably is what a lot of people think. Now, now, if I know this is kind of a weird question to kind of ask, but if somebody like just covering death benefit stuff, and they're kind of healthy and whatnot. What do you think is that cost factor kind of thing? So what would they be looking at on a roughly monthly basis in regards to a policy? Now, like I said, if it's just covering funeral expenses, and then if you go above and beyond, there's other things and stuff like that. But do you have an idea, like a guesstimate kind of thing? I know it's like I said, it's a weird thing to try to put it out there. There's so much factors in the pricing scale, but I want to give everybody just like a ballpark kind of area.
Sure. The price, of course, it will range and be tailored according to age. The younger the person, that's your discount. Buy it now and it'll be cheaper. That's why we always push the young, healthy people to take it out because you can get policies.
Yeah.
For, I would say in TT dollars, a good package could be about between $200 to $300 TT per month,
Really?
which is about 50 US. That will give you a coverage of life insurance, some critical illness, and some savings as well. And that tends to be the average policy size in my tenure that people work with. That's $50 US or $300.
Actually, that's less than $50, Dill. You're
Yeah,
talking
but
about
that's
right. You're talking that's roughly under $40,
Under
if anything.
$40, yeah.
Like 37, 30, about 36, $37.
Correct.
And what kind of coverage level is that? Would you say in Trinidad?
That would give at least 200,000 TT dollars life coverage in the death benefit and 100,000 critical illness, meaning that if they had contracted of cancer or they had a heart attack, a stroke, kidney failure, that will give you automatic. So you're looking at about within 300,000 coverage could give you that value. And this is just for somebody, let's say 18 to 40. From 40 to 50 would be a little rate to be higher. And of course, you have a smoker and non-smoker and that type of thing. But the average policies I've seen is around that $300 mark. That's like the average. But of course, you take more. Some people want like $1 million coverage, $2 million coverage, that type of thing. Coverages actually are based on income replacement. So let's say, for example, just to give somebody an idea how it is calculated. Let's say you have a family and you bring home in TT dollars I'm talking about, average, $10,000 per month. That means you bring home 1.2 million for the year to your family.
Right.
So if you have a child who is 8 years old, you need to make sure it's your responsibility for that child to be an adult. And so you have 10 years again. So you're looking at, you need to take out this $10 million coverage in order to make sure if you die tomorrow, you have money set aside for your family. Of course, the affordability will then, so you determine what you need, but then you actually look at the affordability. And some compromise between need and affordability, we would set a break to a point that we will have an agreement on. Yeah.
Now, there was a question here that says from Shelley, is that a term life policy? Now, one of the biggest misconception is in regards to the whole life policy and the term life policy. Now, what I was just taught not too long ago, and you're the professional, but it's usually better in regards to the term life policies compared to the whole life because the rate of return based upon interest isn't all that great. So your best option is to obtain a term life policy where the premiums are less and that additional monies invested in a money market account and things like that in regards to your rate of return is a whole lot better. That aspect compared to term and whole life. If you want to just explain that to people.
So term life, as you just explained, term life is basically a cheaper form of life insurance coverage. It's set for a particular time and a value. So if for example, if you set it for 20 years and you took it out at 40, at 60 it will cease. If you didn't die, God forbid, by the age of 60, that's the end of it. So it's like how you would look at renting, for example. You did this. It's a cheaper form, but you would not. There's no ownership of it after the period. The whole life or the universal life, they tend to bill cash. So let's say a policy matures at 65. It is designed, the ones that we have, that would give you cash and substantial cash that would actually allow you to use it for your retirement. So that's because if you pass through the hurdle of mortgages and liquidating all loans, you're now going to be in a state of retirement. So that money can now be used for that. Or there's whole of life, which goes until the age of 100. The rates are more, but it's a guaranteed death benefit with cash. Um, you could look at the option of doing term, where the difference that you would have paid by taking a universal or whole of life, and then doing investment in a mutual fund that is in high yields,
Right.
then you might actually be working to an advantage there.
Mm-hmm.
So it all depends on the client how they see it, but it's up to it is our duty to explain to the clients all the various options, and they would actually choose which is better or recommend, which is
Yeah,
better.
because you see how we learned the hard way before, prior to Amelia and myself getting together. She had a term policy when she had bought her house and stuff like that, and she had that policy for about, and she got it when she was young, in her early 20s, and she had the policy for maybe like 12 years plus and stuff like that because she owns her home, but she had a whole life policy, which is what they had given her. So basically, in regards to premium, she was paying an extra $20 a month on top of if she had went with a term. And in that 14 years, she only yielded $1,000 is what she earned from the whole life for herself, cash value. So when we got our new policy and stuff like that, that's how we end up learning that it's better get the term life policy, pay the lesser amount of money. The difference that you would get in the whole life universal, put in the mutual fund, and that's what we've been doing. And thank God we did that, because with COVID and stuff like that, we were able to borrow against it and whatnot, because the way how the situation was and what was going on in the world and things like that. So these are your options that you need to look at. And Dylan is versed in both areas, the mutual funds and the life insurance and things like that. Correct, Dylan?
Yeah. All types of insurance, which is the investment side of it. We have short-term funds, long-term funds. The risk, of course, the greater the return, the risk is better. But I've seen, believe it or not, the funds have been performing very well, even during COVID. I don't know what's happening, but it's been good. It's been good. Because of the investments are in the, like say the pharmaceuticals, for example.
Yes, right.
Where all the activity and money generations are happening. So the funds are performing excellent. We have U.S. investments as well. So if anybody wants to do U.S., especially the U.S. market, to me that's the safer fund where you put it in a hard currency. It is have been talking for a while that Trinidad is anticipating some sort of devaluation soon. And securing your funds in US is one of the best options because it will be protected and you have greater, by the percentage if it fall, you would have a greater benefit.
Wow, I didn't know that's the direction that we were looking at. Now, one of the other things is that when you have that period for the term life policy, 25 years, 30 years, and things like that, and it comes time for renewal, do you have to, what I know on this side here is if you already have an active policy, you reach the maturity date and stuff like that, the year, and you're able to renew without having to do the medical and things like that. Is that the same thing in Trinidad? Or is it that you don't have to do medical again? No. So whatever conditions you've developed, you don't have to worry. You're able to renew your policies and things like that.
Yeah. That is correct. It's the same. It's called a term with convertible option,
Mm-hmm.
so that you can convert it to a whole life or universal life, or extend the life as well, without medical. And at that time, you know, your health condition may have worsened. So that's why it's always good to take the insurance when you are
Young.
healthy,
Yes.
young, because those rates will never change. They will never be. You will never have a condition that you didn't have in the past, but there's always a possibility that you can have in the future. So yeah,
So,
they have all that options.
so you guys heard, like we said, and I'm still in shock in regards to that number that you threw out there, because to get like a 200,000 if you're in relatively good health and things like that, the non-smoker and
Yeah.
whatnot. For under 40 US, there's a possibility. So like $1.25 a day, over here, you could have your loved ones back home covered, or things like that. Especially, we have a lot of people getting married, starting families and whatnot, and you never know when that time is going to come. But it's always best to have this protection. I can't stress the importance of this so much, because the one thing that drives me crazy is the fact that a bottle of black in Trinidad goes for like 600 TT dollars, 700 TT dollars, and they'll go and buy a few of that, but you won't buy a life insurance policy where you have people that they want to set up GoFundMe's and do barbecues and do all these kind of things to raise money to bury somebody. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
So it's just a matter for us to ensure that that need is always there. That unforeseen circumstance can happen to anyone. And I just wanted to share something as well, which actually this week I am delivering the check to her. Is that she is a client of mine that she started about 10 years ago when I started, and
Okay.
she took out a policy and she was very healthy. She had life and critical illness, for example, and she continued to pay. And up to last year, she got a reduction in her days, and they didn't compensate her for it. And so she had a fall in income. There's a mother of two, and the husband lost his job.
Oh man.
So
Sorry
it
to hear
was
that.
really tragedy for her. And early on this year, she got a stroke. Her high blood pressure, and then a stroke.
Oh no.
Fortunately, she didn't lead to anything else, and she's doing therapy now. She did not pay the premium for under 6 months, and believe it or not, Guardian is honoring the claim of 500,000
Wow.
to her, and she's like so happy, like super
Really?
happy.
That is. Yeah, I would be happy
Yeah, and
too, man.
she can't believe it because we are not even going to, because we have extended. Normally, you can have a policy not lapsing for 90 days, but we have extended to 180 days. So she didn't pay until September last year, and we are still going to honor the claim. And her premium was around the same, of about $400 TT, which is close to the 50 US.
Yeah.
And she's going to be getting 500,000 US, TT dollars.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so and she's so happy. I am so happy for her to show that it is really real. And that's one of my recent claims. In my 10 years, I've probably had many claims. There's prostate cancer, for example, in men. A very good friend of mine got that. And I had the one for our family where they passed, and I had the life insurance taken care of them without even getting the settlement. The beneficiary, the funeral home sent us their bill, and we were able to expedite that whole funeral process instead of holding it up. And that's the time when you really need
I agree, man.
immediate cash.
I agree. And I'm gonna have you explain that in just a second. But I don't know. Are you able to see the question on the bottom there?
No, because I'm using my phone. If you something have a policy.
Okay, yeah, I'll read it out to you. If you have a policy that lapsed a few months, why all the red tape to have it reinstated? And if it's a few months had not passed, would it have been valid?
Okay, so a policy, as I said with Guardian, with lapse used to be can lapse before COVID enhancement, they give 90 days. If
Okay.
it's now 180 days, so we give 6 months. So if you there's still non-payment, the policy is possible to lapse if it has no cash value or under 3 years,
Okay.
right? To redate or reinstate a policy is to put it back up, meaning that you can either pay a premium and put it forward as a redate, or if you want to reinstate it, you pay all the back premiums and you put it back up. So it's not like you can't do it. You can put it back up.
Okay, so you can. So
Yeah.
that question
Was that answered?
was from Charlene. Hopefully, he was able to answer. I don't know if your policy is with Guardian or someone else.
And you can call me. It is a number to Trinidad or email me, message me. Did you put my email as well?
No, I didn't put your email.
Okay.
But if you want to just list it there, we could, because it's the same name that you see there at guardiangroup.org, correct?
Yeah, my Guardian Group.
Oh, myguardiangroup.com. Okay. So let me try and see if I can get that.
And so the redating a policy is like moving it forward. So like if a policy lapse, you just have to pay one premium and it will move forward. There's no charges. We have Guardian, this is we have waived that charges to redate. And if you're reinstated, meaning that you don't want to have a gap, then you pay all the premiums that were missed.
Okay. So Charlene, if hopefully that was able to answer, but if you can give Dylan a call, the number is 868-789-4038, or you could WhatsApp him in regards to asking him a question. Hopefully. But Dill, explain to them, like in Trinidad, like what I had said that you did for Auntie Lorna's situation in regards to the funeral home, the crematory, those kind of things, that kind of process. Because a lot of people, until that day happens, you don't realize there's so much things that has to get done in that short amount of time. So if you want to just say, these are the different things that you guys are able to help out with.
Sure. So we are here, especially in time of need. So in terms of a death and unforeseen death in your family, and you have an active policy, right? That says a lapse policy cannot be effected, an active policy. And all we need is the beneficiary or some person who are responsible to the deceased bring us the death certificate and an invoice from the funeral home. We will honor the payment to the funeral home. And this was an exact experience while the family were accumulating funds or having difficulty in doing so. It was so immediate because within the next day, because once we get the documentation or proof of death, and we have the policy that it has the value, we will honor the payment to the funeral home. The balance of the money, though, will then go under the normal process, which will take about a week, and pay it to a beneficiary. And while we're on that island, I need to stress that if anyone has policies, they need to check if they have a beneficiary. It's very, very important that sometimes people take policies out and they leave it to your estate.
Really? They forget to list a beneficiary?
They list a beneficiary. And there are reasons for putting an estate because estate physically means you're closest to king. If you're single, it will go to your parents. Or if you're even married, then it will go to your husband or wife or spouse. But it takes a while. The bureaucracy in it here is that you have to have a will, or the state then will provide one or list one, and you have to have an executor to execute your will.
Really?
So then that is a little time. So it's in your best interest to have a beneficiary appointed upon immediate, so then you can get your money paid to you.
Right. So the same thing over here, that probate and stuff like that, but it's a really lengthy process if you don't have it. Really.
And then the legal fees of it, they take a percentage of your benefits as well.
If you don't have it listed. So
if you don't have it listed.
Now, if you list a beneficiary abroad now, what happens in regards to that? Is there like more stipulations, more headaches and whatnot? So you want to
No,
get things in place?
no, it doesn't matter where they reside. The ones we did to put them on, they would have had to have documentation, like a valid IDs and if it has to be paid, then they would have to, of course, it be paid in TT dollars. So they would have to get a check or send the money to account, a TT account.
Oh, TT account.
Yeah,
So they
it
have
will
to
be
have
converted.
So they have to have an account in Trinidad
Yeah.
and so forth. Okay,
Yeah.
so right. So that one of the things is that if
Yeah.
if you list someone who is abroad, you want to make sure that they have an account in Trinidad, active account, let's say, in Trinidad. So in order for them to be able to obtain their funds during untimely passing.
Yeah, and then we had experience with the same case. Exactly, that's what happened to the beneficiary. That they didn't have a TT account, and the check is made into the beneficiary name, and you can deposit the check into someone else's account. They had to open an account, and there's a process to even open an account. So, to safeguard yourself, if you know that you're a beneficiary for a family member in Trinidad, just try to have your name on the account or have an account.
That's what I was gonna ask. So if they list their child or whomever on their own account, that makes it a lot easier. Is that correct?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Is that
Which
still
will
a
be-
process
yeah,
too?
easier and faster, yeah.
Is that a process also? In
No,
regards
if
to
you have an exist, then you put someone named as a. Well, I mean, other than bank requirements, they would want an ID and the person, the other party signs and agrees to it, but it's not a lengthy process.
Okay, all right. So Shelly Ann is saying that if anybody wants to list her as a beneficiary, she's more than welcome to accept her name in regards to that.
And why not?
All right. So you don't have to put Dylan's name. You can put my name. I'm more than willing to be anybody's beneficiary. So, Dill, before we, once again, thank you very much for doing this. We were supposed to have done it a little while ago. A lot of things came into place and stuff like that. Now, another question. Is there a max age that you guys don't do policies for again?
Yeah. So every policy varies, but if you're talking about the life insurance, well, we can go up to 75 now.
75
so
now.
on or before your 75th birthday, you need to, that will be the maximum entry age. Of course, if you live beyond, that's great. But you can't take any policy beyond that. And that is the time when you really need insurance. So please do not wait until then.
So, and is that for both the life insurance and the death benefit? That past 75, you can't do nothing again?
Correct. Yeah. 75.
Okay. All right. So
It used to be 70, but we know we lifted the bar because
Guardian?
of other people's aging and stuff.
Oh, Guardian did, or is that a global thing? Do you know?
Oh, that's Guardian.
Okay.
Every company would vary.
Okay. All right. Now, if anyone has any other questions for Dylan before I let him go, you're welcome to make sure and send it out there now. Hold on. So we got another question here from Shelly, who wants to be a beneficiary. That says, what do I need to have if I want to open a policy for a relative?
Okay, so if you want to open the policy for the relative, that means the relative is the life assured, I'm assuming, and the person is the payer. That can be done and you have to have like interest, like what is the interest is a family member. They can be like a complete stranger then. They will the underwriter will query what is the relationship and why you want to do something like that.
So you cannot be a complete stranger. Is that what you're saying?
You can't. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a vested interest in the person. So if you're the payer, that's fine. The policy will be the only life assured of the person you're insuring. Now, if there is a time, the parent has to give consent if the parents are alive. Yeah.
Okay. So if you're a sibling or spouse, a sibling, and if your spouse lives abroad, you're able to pay for the policy for them and stuff like that.
They're both adults and the payer will be the person who lives abroad. So then we can explore the payment option, and the option here might be online payment or recurring credit card payments. Yeah.
Okay, so she says she's a sibling and stuff like that. So now, what information? How do you guys prove that now in regards to like if Shelly wants to get a policy for her sister who have kids and things like that, and how do you guys prove that they're brothers and sisters and things like that?
Well, no, we have to get IDs, of course, documentation. So the like for sure will be the one living in Trinidad, obviously. They are the one will be under scrutiny in terms of health and all the other compliance requirements like proof of address, proof of identity. The only thing that the person abroad is doing is the payer.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Yeah, that's all the interest they have in it. If that is what they want, like they want to pay for a policy for someone.
Right. Okay.
And I guess vice versa in the US, they can take it out and make that other person the beneficiary in Trinidad. So it's similar.
So you can have a policy over here and make your sibling the beneficiary abroad.
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder, is there an issue in regards to like how Trinidad would need to have a Trinidad account? Would you need to have a US account over here in order to cash?
That's most likely would apply. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's something.
So then the sibling should have the name in the account of the person as well, so they can pay in the same account or separate account.
Okay.
Yeah, because then the US will pay in US. Then they will have to get the money to deposit here if they may get away with it. Like if they bring the check into Trinidad.
I'm sorry?
They may be able to deposit the US check in Trinidad if they have a US account. So.
Okay.
Because remember the US currency is international. It would be accepted anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So Janice said that you answered all her questions, and I know this is something that Janice was looking forward to also because she has a lot of her siblings are back home and stuff like that, and a lot of them probably didn't look into this kind of stuff, about getting it, and definitely I am gonna stress this again. If you're of good health and whatnot, now is the time. Now is the time to get your policies, because as you get up with age and stuff like that, all these things come about in regards to they want to tell you have diabetes, you have high blood pressure, you're overweight, you're this, you're that, and whatnot. So when you're young, get it. And if you're newly married and stuff like that, or you guys have a younger sibling or nieces or nephew that are getting married, I would say, what's a better wedding present than to help them get started with a life insurance policy. You could start it, and then they just gotta carry it along. They just gotta go with it from there. I think that's a phenomenal gift.
Yeah. And even if it adds on some savings to what there's savings policies as well. You could actually add some future cash.
Yeah, well, like I said, when you mentioned that, if you're in good health and things like that, and for about under 40 US a month, you're looking at a $200,000 policy, savings, and all these different kind of things. Now, roughly, what does a funeral cost in Trinidad right now?
I would say minimum 25,000. It all depends on the religion. And what rites they're going to be buried at or burned. So minimum 25,000, 35,000. This is excluding. This is the actual day of the funeral day. It doesn't include the cost of the various prayers and all the other rituals that they may have. So you could go all the way up to 75,000, some 100,000.
Wow.
And you see, when we think about that, it's not only that. Remember, we would have incurred a lot of costs, like if it was in hospitals. There's a lot of debt that people may have mortgaged their homes or sold their vehicles just to pay these exorbitant prices because public health is, may not be as efficient, and they chose to go to a private. There's also the aftercare that they had their home. There's a lot of additional costs, not only that final cost. So there's a number of costs.
No, and definitely, because roughly, funeral costs here, I probably think, and I'm just a guesstimate kind of thing, is probably, I think, around $10,000, maybe 15,000 US and stuff like that. But, that is still, if you don't have a savings, you don't have this, you don't have that, to come up with that money right away, that is a huge, huge thing over here. And you know, the one thing that hurts me more than anything is the fact that, you know, when I see this, the GoFundMe's and the this and the that and whatever for people that had an untimely passing, you know, to ask everyone to help out and whatnot, especially during this COVID time, it's not something that's easy. So, you know, with your policies and stuff, these kind of things, it is to me, it's just like paying your car payment, paying your rent or your mortgage or whatever. The life insurance needs to be in that bucket. You know, when you have your cell phones and them that are running $200 and $300, yes, a cell phone nowadays is a necessity, but your cell phone is not going to help your family in them in regards to, you know, having to put you to rest. So, you know, you don't need all the bells and the whistles and the Apple, the new iPhone that just come out for $1,000 and this, that, and the next thing. Do a policy. A new iPhone helps pay 5 months premium, you know, or like you're saying, to help a family member in Trinidad, you know, a new iPhone costs can help pay a year's premium for a family member in Trinidad. That's just my take on it. And yeah, and like Lister said, yeah, that definite peace of mind. And if you have young kids, that have to go to college or, you know, all these other kind of things in life, this is something that you definitely want to make sure and get. I like I said, we're going on 3 years for our policy, and it's something that at least I know, God forbid if something happens, Emil doesn't have to go all over the place looking for money to try to bury me. I want a party that's different, you understand? A six-pack for whoever and things like that, they'll be okay. But, you know, that this is the thing. It is definitely something that you want to make sure and have in place. If you have relatives in Trinidad, you can help them out. Well,
yeah, so well said.
Anti-Centrist says, you know, Trinidad, don't think that way. It's all about the show, which is the case, but COVID should at least wake a lot of people up right now, because there's so many deaths. We're at what? Worldwide is over 500,000 deaths. Is that correct? Worldwide? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was 600,000.
600,000. So that's 600,000 people that during this pandemic, majority of them probably did not have life insurance, where their family had to worry about coming together to get these burial costs and things like that. And with COVID restrictions and blah, 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 people can't fly, they can't go, they can't this, they can't that. So definitely something you want to look into.
Definitely.
So
I think you hit the nail on the head by saying that keyword peace of mind.
Yeah.
And that is what it is. You know, it's a protection or promise to pay in the event of an unforeseen circumstance happen. And we've been witnessing and experiencing so many unforeseen. It's just becoming like a reality now. So give yourself that peace of mind that you could live. You can even have to have savings in your bank account. But if you pay your premiums, at least your family will be protected and their lifestyle can be enjoyed, and you wouldn't deprive them of any other things that you would have wanted for them.
No, exactly. Now, good evening, Nishana. You're late. I know you have I wanted you to listen to this because you have your nephew and stuff like that. You guys can listen to the replay. Share the replay for your families and them. Rishi asks a question here. What about for someone who has scoliosis? Is that person qualified for insurance?
If there's a pre-existing condition, they would have to be underwritten by the magnitude of it. If there's a rate of recovery, if it's permanent or what damage has been done. So you really can't answer no, but it can be entertained. It all depends.
No, so I don't mean to cut you, Dil, but I know scoliosis is not really like a medical kind of thing. It's a physical kind of situation where, you know, they could look into it and stuff like that. But you could be covered under anything. What you have. The only thing is those medical situations and conditions. is what elevates your premium cost.
Yes, I was about to say that. When you apply for insurance, there's an application on standard rates.
Mhm.
The rates quoted, obviously, it all depends on normal conditions. So, but an underwriter could rate you, mean by a factor on your illness, and give you a different or higher premium, but still be covered. They can actually postpone you for a period of time, and if you recover, then continue, and then decline. But I've seen so little cases decline because they can always rate you to pay that additional risk factor.
So there you guys go. You heard it right from the man himself. Dill, and anything you want to say in summation before I let you go?
Yeah, sure. I would like to continue, what I'm doing, trying to spread the word. This is something that we need. There's no if and buts about it. Just like you said, we pay our phone bill, we buy our grocery which we need, and we have a shelter. Insurance protection is also part of that list. And if we look at it, out of all the bills that we pay, insurance bill will give you a benefit in the event if anything happens, and that benefit is going to be 100 times the value that what you have paid. And look at that example I give you with my recent friend who just, a recent incident with stroke, $500,000.
So Dill, let me ask you, how much you think she paid in premium over the 10 years?
Tell you that. So she paid the normal $300, and she have been there for 10 years. So you're looking at 36,000 by 10. No, sorry, 3,006. So she paid about 40,000 maximum, and she's getting 500,000.
100 times the return, and she didn't pass. Unfortunately, thank God, she has not passed.
She has $1 million coverage where she passed, so even that's all is covered.
And now she's able to, while living during her ailments and stuff like that, is able to have a humongous peace of mind in regards to, being able to utilize this money.
Yeah, and she also told me that she's going to tell her employers to take the job, and you know what? With it, and she's going to do her own consultancy and her own dreams that she always had passion to do. So
that's good.
It is, something very positive to definitely look into. If you don't have it, and to encourage everyone is to get some protection.
That's great, Dill. Thank you very much for taking the time once again. You want to let everybody know what's the best way to get in touch with you if they want more information and stuff like that?
Sure. I know Alan has put it up, but feel free to call me. My number is, I believe you have it there, 1-866-789-4038. And I'm also with my Guardian group. And they could also WhatsApp me or Facebook.
All right. And how to find you on Facebook, Dill?
Just my name.
Dylan Ramsunder. So Dylan Ramsunder, you can find him there. He's also on Instagram as well. But the best way, message him on Facebook, WhatsApp him. Look, Shelly just put the number up there, 868-789-4038. Like I said, this is something to get. Those of you that have family in Trinidad, now it's a whole lot easier that you living abroad can pay for the policy for your relatives in Trinidad and go about it from there. Definitely something. Dill, thank you very much, my brother. Much love to you. All the best.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you for
Thank you.
having me, and to all the viewers and listeners. Have a blessed day and be safe.
And remember, we could share out this feed, send it out to everybody, send it to your family and them in Trinidad on the replay. Thank you, Dill. So I'm going to let Dylan go. Great information, people. Thank you, Dill. So tomorrow night, I'm back tomorrow night. Andy Central, I'll send you the number. But I'm back tomorrow night. I'm hoping I'm going to be on time. I got to drop Miss Budu Singh to work. And then. So I'm looking at, hopefully the start times are going to be 7, if not 7:30. We got Courtesy of Bowen Sounds. Suresh Maharaj tomorrow night. Make sure and like and follow the page. I'm hoping I'm not late. But if not, I'll be starting by 7:30. So Suresh Maharaj tomorrow. Yep, that's right. Traditional. Once again, share the feed to your family and them. Nishana, rewatch this video, this live. It's over tonight. That's tomorrow. You know I got my girl. Everybody have a wonderful night. Go away. Tomorrow. You all have a blessed night. Ramadan Mubarak to our Hindu people. Happy Navratri. Good night.